What you see here is my second pair of Air Max 90 Ultra in reveals. The first one I already customized to my liking, but I had another idea. So I was just thrifting around, hoping to find one sometime in the future, and I did for the price that I wanted. So I got it, and this was it after I deeply cleaned it. Now, this is the before photos. At the very end of the video, you're going to see the after, the final product. But I hope you enjoy the process. So, what you have here are a pair of altering reveals, which have been revealed already. What I will do to these would change the colorway. I'm going to be changing the midsole colors, the side panel color, their side plastic tab cover. This I would just, retouch up, revamp. The suede will be colored. These will be touched up. This will be colored. This will be colored. And that's it. Now, I don't like suede. For those of you that are wondering, probably, I don't like suede dye. I hate dye in any way, shape, or fashion. In fact, I have leather dyes, and I will be using it on these, but leather dyes are strictly for like the first layer, the first coat of anything in any place of the sneaker, but it has to be the same color or close to the same color. What I mean by that is, let's say I'm gonna paint this black, which I will. I'm gonna get the black leather dye, and I'm just gonna apply a layer very carefully because the thing stains everything right there. And I'm gonna use blue right here, and then that way when I apply the actual acrylic leather paint, I do my coats, my finisher, blah blah blah. When the day comes when it begins to stress crack, like when you start walking, the stress is kind of bent, like those areas would obviously the paint will kind of like start coming off. But when that occurs, it won't look as bad, it won't stand out because the color is dyed underneath the same color. So that's why leather dye is very crucial in these processes, in my opinion. Now, I am using a custom paint. I've created this paint with a specific color in mind, and that is the color. Originally, it was going to be the same color I call green gray that I used in the first version of the alternate reveals, but in this one, I wanted it to be a lighter version, so I just used a light gray, a very light gray. And so when I paint suede, when you get thrifted shoes that are suede, you're gonna deeply clean the shoe no matter what. At least I do. There's no point of cleaning just the outside and the inside manually, and that's it. With no steam, with no like taking out the insoles and really going hard and then putting in the wash cycle and then air drying. You really gotta go hard, in my opinion. I never want to get anything from a pair of sneakers regarding bacteria. So, going back to what I was saying, suede sucks. They bleed. I just can't stand it. So when I wash it and I reset the nap, meaning when the suede's dry, you reset it using a brush and a number of other brushes, and then finally the horsehair brush. There's a lot left, so you want to kind of trim it down with some kind of machine, lint remover, or even like clippers of sorts. And that's what I did there, because when you paint over it the way I do, because I don't use dye, I use acrylic leather paint with mediums and additives, it would come out a little smoother instead of clunky. And so what you see me here is, applying a couple coats of the light gray, and I think it's coming out great. It's just, I remember doing this, and I'm like, this is gonna come out so nice, and it did, in my opinion. Too bad it didn't fit me though. But I did sell it to someone, some lucky person. So I hope they do like it and enjoy it as much as I created it. So I got finished using black to do the toe box, and that's my third and final coat. Came out pretty clean. Next step would be obviously to remove the tape, and I will be doing the side panel. You see the yellow side panel, white, and then the last thing will be the midsoles. Now I'm preparing the shoe by taping off the areas I do not want affected. This is the process before you airbrush. In my case, I'm airbrushing the side panels white. So everything else needs to be taped off and blocked so the white does not seep through. I can use a paintbrush, which I did after the fact, because it still needs some touch-ups, and I didn't want to tape over it again. But it's different than using the paintbrush, because paintbrush tends to bleed, because you're using a lot of paint and you're spreading it around with the paintbrush, so it tends to bleed in places where you tape sometimes. So airbrushes removes that, because you're applying really light coats. So I used airbrush. I've realized I hate airbrushes, the airbrush machine, because it's high maintenance. It really is. You got to be on top of it for it to be perfectly spraying at all times, and it's kind of annoying. So I used an in-between. I forget what it's called. It's like a spray can and it's like an airbrush. It's an in-between, and I enjoy it so much. That's what I use to mat everything. I think it's perfect. So right now I'm just taping it so I could get it ready for that process. See, now it's gonna look nice once it's matted. This is like a light gray, white. This is gonna be dark. It's a good contrast. And of course I gotta revamp this right here, because this is making the white look crust. Anyways, that's one unwrap. Now I gotta do this white. I mean orange right here. Make it pop. It's just gonna look really nice. Still gotta fix this bullshit here. But yeah. Not too shabby. Right now I'm spray painting or airbrushing again. That is the tool that you saw that I was speaking about earlier, but this time I'm just using acrylic leather dyes for the midsoles before I paint them. Now just look at these. Let me turn on the flash, because don't mind the black. That is just lint. That is just paper towel lint. A wipe off would do good. But look how clean this came out. This is magnificent work. There's no spillage anywhere. Now let's look at this one. Now you can see how it would turn out. This is black, but it's not gonna be black. It's gonna be dark gray, just as I did those right over there. It's gonna be that same gray, but this is gonna be blue, and it's gonna have the speckles, the little drops of dark blue and black, and this is gonna have the same thing, and this is gonna be that blue. It's gonna be a nice piece of work. Now you see how discolored that is, right? I still need this, retouch these, and of course the midsole. And then the details will be the outline here, right there, and then this on both sides, but it's coming out really nice. All right, I got these finished. The only thing I have left to do is to stitch this up right here in the center. I don't know if you can see. Let me just put the flash on. You see that right there? Gotta stitch that, but this is how it came out. I have to put the matte coat on it. You see, I've tried to, it's difficult to paint the stitching if you had already painted over it. Now, it's easy when you want to paint the stitching before you paint anything else over it. It's easy because you can just, let's say this is all white, right? Brand new, triple white Air Max 90s. This is white. The color I want is pink. I just apply pink paint here, and I just get some alcohol and wipe it off away. Everything will come off but the stitching. The stitching will remain pink. Now it's different because this is yellow, as we know. All the reveals are black and underneath is yellow. This was yellow initially, so I had to like really try and get it, you know, paint on the stitching. It was difficult, as you can see. I kind of messed up, but you know what? It's still wearable. It still looks sexy to me. And black on the inside, yellow on the outside. Black on the inside, black on the inside, yellow on the outside. So one side's different than the other. The inside is different than the outside. I think these came out phenomenal. I'm just gonna tape it down. I'm just gonna mat it over, and then I'm gonna do the air unit. Just clean it out and put some high gloss in it.